For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
18 days for Christmas shopping, 18 days to fill the stocking, 18 days for Christmas shopping, only got 18 more.
Hi there. It's later than you think. Only 18 more shopping days till Christmas.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
News team, assemble!
Joining us live because if you want to know anything about the Outer Banks, Sam Walker's the dude to fill you in.
The sea was angry that day, my friends. Like an old man trying to send back soup in a deli.
Always appreciate talking to you.
Always good stuff with Sam Walker in the Outer Banks.
Now here's Les Nessman and the news.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to OBX Today Live here on Facebook and YouTube on this December 7th, 2021, 80th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor. Coming up on the show, well, we're going to be running through a lot of news today. We've got quite a few headlines to get to. I got a graphic I need to get loaded here. We're just going to jump right in. As yesterday, I posted up a story at obxtoday.com that is an update on homeowners insurance rates in North Carolina. In fact, it's the entire state. The new maps, or rather, there was a proposal from the insurance industry. It's the North Carolina Rate Bureau represents all the insurance companies that write policies in North Carolina. This isn't the agents that you deal with directly. This is the actual companies. So your Allstates and Lloyds and things like that. They are represented by the North Carolina Rate Bureau. And that rate bureau handles not just homeowners insurance, dwelling policies, all your insurance policies, auto, and they are, it's a nonprofit group. Well, it's a group, just a consortium, and they all go to the North Carolina Department of Insurance and handle asking for rate requests each year, or in some cases, multiple times a year, or in some cases, that's going to actually be not coming next year, or in the next couple of years. That's after a negotiation and an agreement was announced last month by North Carolina Department of Insurance Commissioner Mike Causey. He made the announcement actually back on on Thanksgiving week. It kind of snuck in on us. So anyway, I'm trying to get this graphic loaded up here, so just give me a second. That I do want to put up on the screen, because it does kind of show where normally it gives a better breakdown of exactly where some of the insurance. There we go. Look, that's not how I want it to look, but I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll put it over my ugly mug and give you the details about exactly what does that map mean. So, homeowners insurance rates on the Outer Banks will be going up by 9.9% starting next June on new and renewed policies starting in June. So if you got a new policy that's written at the beginning in June, or a policy that renews in June 2022 or later, then your rates are going to go up 9.9% here in Eastern North Carolina. While the insurance industry has agreed to not submit any new requests until at least 2024. Now, as you can see on the map, all the coastal sections of North Carolina are in the yellow. That is the 9.9% increase. The areas that are in blue will see an increase of 5.9%. Now, the industry asked for a 25% increase back last November, and this process has been kind of drug out over the last almost 13 months. There was a public hearing that was supposed to take place next month on this request, and it had been delayed a couple of times. It's been canceled because they have reached this negotiated settlement. The statewide average increase has been 24.5%, but it had been 25% to increase on homeowners insurance rates in our part of the state. But when you look at the map, you see, and in the past couple of insurance rate increases, the rate increases have not been as equitable across the state as you're seeing with this latest increase, where it has been almost, it's gone down sometimes in the mountains of North Carolina and in the Piedmont and in some of the urban centers, and it's gone up or held even in other parts in the rural counties, interior counties. This time it seems to be more of a spread of, it's the areas that they say have more damage, but also can afford it. We'll see. Not so much about that. Think about that once you start getting into these interior sections of northeastern North Carolina. But it not only is it the coastal parts of North Carolina, that insurance increase, or this rate increase also applies to the Triangle, to the Raleigh and Durham, Wake and Durham counties. It also applies to Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, and some of the immediate suburbs, but it also goes up into Wilkes County. It's very surprising how this rate increase was negotiated out. We've got some comments in our story at obxtoday.com from the insurance commissioner, also from the North Carolina Homeowners Alliance. They said they had more than, let's see, the public comment forum was held both in person and online back in December of 2020. With DOI receiving more than 6,500 emailed comments on the proposed homeowners rate increase. The North Carolina Homeowners Alliance members from across the state urged CAUSE to reject the latest proposal, again, that was submitted by the Rate Bureau in 2020. The last homeowners rate filing was in December 2018 for a statewide average increase of 17.4%. That was negotiated down to an average hike of 4% statewide. No, Andre, Orange was actually in the 5.9%. Yeah, they were left out on that. And it's kind of hard to make out on the map I've got up there because of the way I had to put this together. But yeah, you'll see where Wake County is and Durham, but Orange is in the 5.9%. So that is the latest on the insurance rate increase. We've got that story first here at obxtoday.com, and you'll find that there right now. All right, moving on to some insurance rates that are going to be going down in Nags Head. Town of Nags Head announcing yesterday that they have been able to, through a program, improve Nags Head's community flood rating from 20% to 25% under a program administered by FEMA's National Flood Insurance Program, a voluntary incentive program that recognizes and encourages community floodplain management practices that exceed the minimum requirements of the National Flood Insurance Program. The community rating system has over 1,500 participating communities. And in those communities, flood insurance premium rates are discounted to reflect the reduced flood risk resulting from the community's efforts to address three goals of the program. So Nags Head says that they have been able to get that reduction that will be coming with the work to make flood insurance more affordable, or as affordable for as many as possible, combined with providing helpful advice on defense measures and requiring more stringent protection for new development. So instead of a 20% discount on flood insurance premiums, will now be a 25% discount. That's from Nags Head Planning and Development Director Kelly Wyatt. So Nags Head will see another 5% decrease in flood insurance rates. Some of the other towns here and the county have done some of the CRS work to also reduce flood insurance rates in their jurisdictions. All right, some other headlines we got for you at obxtoday.com. No one was hurt in an accident involving a children's train ride at Nags Head Church Saturday night. Nags Head police and fire crews dispatched to Nags Head Church adjacent to Jockey's Ridge around 6:45 p.m. A 65-year-old male from Killable Hills was riding with his grandson in a cart that tipped over. The grandchild was uninjured, able to get out without assistance. The grandfather got out as well, but needed assistance from first responders. So he was checked out by Dare County EMS and was not injured and released shortly afterwards. We have gotten some better news about a story we reported on yesterday regarding an accident that happened during the Bath Christmas parade Sunday afternoon. A 9-year-old child fell off a pickup truck that was in the parade down in the town of Bath in Beaufort County and then was run over by the trailer it was towing. Now, according to the Highway Patrol, the child was taken to Vidant Medical Center in Greenville, but has non-life-threatening injuries. So that is much better news this morning because they did not have an update on that child's condition yesterday or Sunday night when we first got information about that accident. But good news about that child that was hurt or fell off a truck that was in the Bath Christmas parade and then was struck by a trailer it was towing. That child is a 9-year-old, flown to Vidant Medical Center in Greenville, but has non-life-threatening injuries. A vigil was held last night in Manteo down at the Creef Boathouse in memory of Allura Pledger and also for Tequila Berry. They were the two from Manteo, a mother and daughter who were victims of a fatal shooting in Elizabeth City last Thursday night. An 18-year-old from Elizabeth City also died in that shooting, Jaquan White. Still no word on any suspects or arrests or an update on exactly what happened there. Reports are as much as some of the neighbors say they heard as many as 50 gunshots. 3 people died, 3 people were injured. Nothing new to report there, but a GoFundMe has been set up for the families of Tequila Berry and Allura Pledger, and we will get a link up for that at obxtoday.com later on today. Students are back at Camden Middle School this morning. That's after an incident first reported by the Daily Advance that there was a report, or rather that 4 students were plotting to attack at least 4 other students at Camden Middle School yesterday. Word started trickling out about this apparently online over the weekend, and one of the parents of the 4 that are allegedly were planning the attack alerted the school and the sheriff's department. They investigated. They decided out of abundance of caution not to have classes yesterday at Camden Middle School, found the threat was credible. They were able to identify 4 students involved. Juvenile charges are pending against those 4 who are alleged to have plotted to harm 4 or 5 other students at Camden Middle School. Now, from everything we understand, Camden Middle School is having classes today, and the Daily Advance has got more coverage on that story. After a meeting last night, community meeting with Sheriff Kevin Jones and others was held last night to follow that up. The Terrell County Board of Education voted Monday to make masks optional in classrooms effective immediately. That does not apply to school buses, which are still covered under the federal mandate for all public transportation. But the Terrell County School Board did lift its mask mandate yesterday, making masks optional in its 3 schools. Dare County's coronavirus death toll moving to 25 yesterday. 2 more people dying in the latest, according to the latest report. No details are shared. Again, that brings the total number to 25. Dare County residents have died since the pandemic began from COVID-19. 41 new cases were reported Monday, pushing the total number of resident and non-resident cases that have tested in Dare County to 6,489. 4,383 of those were residents of Dare County. 5 people listed hospitalized among the 98 active cases reported on Monday. Dare County does put out its full report on COVID-19 each Tuesday. We'll have that for you later on today at obxtoday.com. Statewide numbers between Friday and Monday have jumped 84% since the first week of November, compared to the first week of November, with over 8,500 new cases reported between Friday and Monday in North Carolina. The daily percent positive test rate, though, did improve at 7.7%. That's down from last week at 8.3%. This time last year was at 9.8%. Hospitalizations reported 1,307. That's up 300, or 230 from the week ago, but still well below almost 1,000 less than what were hospitalized at this time last year. All right, more of OBX Today Live is coming up here on Facebook and YouTube, so stay with us.
For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today, and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
Our pet of the week for this week is Sammy. Sammy is a super lovable 8.5-year-old girl. She loves to lay around and sunbathe, but also loves playing with little toys. Sammy has been the only animal her whole life, so she prefers to be your one and only. She loves attention, but does not like being picked up. To adopt Sammy or foster one of our other animals, you can come visit us Monday through Saturday at our shelter located in Manteo. For more information, visit our website at www.obxspca.org or visit our OBX SPCA Facebook page. In the 19th century, before the time of the U.S. Coast Guard, there were 29 life-saving stations along the coast of North Carolina. Here in the Outer Banks, the Pea Island Life Saving Station and its crew have become famous for their incredible history and heroic actions. The year was 1880, and Richard Etheridge had just become the first black keeper of station number 17, and in turn commanded the first all-black crew of a life-saving station. Etheridge trained his crew well and pushed them to become the best that they could be. This rigorous training paid off during the rescue of the E.S. Newman on October 11, 1896. The nightly beach walk was called off that night due to hurricane conditions, but surfman Theodore Meekins was assigned lookout from the watchtower and spotted a red flare from the distressed ship. The Pea Island Life Saving Station quickly sprung into action, and they first attempted rescue with a Lyle gun, but could not get it to fire due to the heavy rain and overwash. Keeper Etheridge asked for volunteers to tie a rope around their waist and swim out to the E.S. Newman. His plan was successful, and over the course of the next 4 hours, 10 trips were made to the ship, and Captain S.A. Gardner, his wife, his son, and his 6 crewmates were all rescued. No medals were given for their heroic rescue until 100 years later, when they were awarded the Gold Life-Saving Medal by the U.S. Coast Guard.
We are the Pea Island Preservation Society. This weekend happens to be a very special weekend because it's a couple of days before the station's most famous wreck.
125 years after the rescue of the E.S. Newman, the Pea Island Preservation Society held an anniversary celebration in Manteo in remembrance of the heroic rescue.
Folks, let's give this motley crew a big hand.
This included a special presentation at the aquarium on Roanoke Island, as well as placing a wreath on Keeper Etheridge's grave. To cap off the event, it was announced that October 11th, 2021 would become Pea Island Lifesavers Day, to forever commemorate the Pea Island Life-Saving Station.
You're right to claim. October the 11th, 2021 is Pea Island Lifesavers Day in North Carolina and commend its observance to all citizens. So thank you.
Yeah, stand up. Thank you. Is that not great news?
This was followed by a second event at the Haven Creek Baptist Church in Manio.
Like the children of the Israelites. All right. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. God's gonna trouble the waters.
I'd like to welcome everyone here today and thank you for coming out to help us celebrate the 125th anniversary of the E.S. Newman Rescue. To all the descendants of the men who served at Pea Island, their past lives within you, for you are a product of their past, the keeper of their story. And it is our duty to tell their story, to inspire and educate future generations.
We're here to honor Richard Etheridge today. He was the epitome of a great leader. He was loved and respected by his men and other lifesavers. And of course, he was revered by those he rescued.
You've heard the names before and you'll hear them again. Richard Etheridge, Theodore Meekins, Benjamin Bowser, Louis Westcott, Dorman Pugh, Stanley Wise, William Irving, because as I said, if not for them, I would not be here today. There would be no Gardner family. Although time separates us, I wish to thank Richard Etheridge and the crew for their courage, dedication, and humility.
So the establishment of an all-black crew at Pea Island seemed like a promising opportunity. By comparison, here was a station where they might rise in the ranks. The black community took pride in Pea Island. Even now, 125 years later, their example lights our path toward a better tomorrow.
The history of the crew at the Pea Island Station continues to this day, and their legacy is marked by the role they played in the collective work done by all life-saving stations across the Outer Banks. The all-black Pea Island Life-Saving Station means so much to the U.S. Coast Guard, and it is one of our proudest moments in our 231 plus years of service history of saving lives.
The Pea Island Preservation Society operates the Cookhouse Museum in Manio, where there are countless artifacts and photos documenting the history of the first all-black life-saving station. Here you will find Joan and Darrell Collins, cousins and descendants of Herbert Collins, the last man in charge of Pea Island before it was deactivated in 1947.
This history, I believe, is just so telling about what the history of this country represents. Blacks, whites, Native Americans, people of mixed heritage, who lived right here on Roanoke Island, who are related, who share a common bond, whose lives were, yes, very, very different, but in many respects, very much the same.
The incredible story of Richard Etheridge and his crew will live on forever at the Pea Island Cookhouse Museum in Manio, and in the hearts and minds of all those who visit.
For over 15 years,
Our pet of the week for this week is Sammy.
Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Barco, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today, and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
Back here on OBX Today Live on this Tuesday morning. Good morning, I'm Sam Walker. Say good morning to everybody checking in with us on Facebook this morning. George up in Connecticut. Sean and Sherry, Susan, Ann, Andrea. Yeah, Andrea, that is pretty cool. That's a production from our friends at Current TV in Dare County, which airs on Spectrum and does stream online. And again, you can see all those videos that we get from Current TV. You can find those on YouTube on the Current TV channel. So if you ever want to watch those or show them to a friend or share a link, it's pretty cool. Teresa, Chris, Brian, Melanie, all good morning. All right. Kind of confusing day yesterday and the first day of filing for the 2022 elections in North Carolina. The filing period starting yesterday at noon, sorta, and running through December 17th. Just minutes before noon yesterday, a 3-judge panel in the North Carolina Court of Appeals temporarily blocked candidates for filing to run in the congressional and legislative races, but did not block it for the rest of the election that takes place next year. That's because of a lawsuit claiming that the districts drawn to be used in every election from 2022 to 2030 unconstitutionally gerrymandered. Now, after that 3-judge panel issued that ruling yesterday evening, just before 6, the full 15 members of the Court of Appeals voted to lift that stay and overruled the original panel, allowing candidate filing to begin after all for candidates in the U.S. House and State Senate and State House races. Now, that's going to throw a monkey wrench into some plans because yesterday, the way those work, the candidates have to go to Raleigh. They actually went to the state fairgrounds. They were using one of the buildings in the state fairgrounds for filing for those statewide races or these congressional and legislative races, just because they needed more space than what was available at the State Board of Elections office downtown Raleigh. So they went out to the state fairgrounds. And then they had nothing to do. They sent all these folks away. Some of them driving from out here on the coast, some of them driving from the Tennessee border. So they've still got till the 17th right now. We're not sure if they're going to extend by a day because that 5 hours was cut off. They might extend it, but we haven't seen anything about that. So what happened was the 15-member Court of Appeals, which does have a Republican majority, did not identify who made up the original panel of 3 or how the court voted in either order. They initially said that one of those suits had enough merit to delay filing for the House, Senate, and congressional seats. But instead, what the majority of the judges did what they want to all hear the case, which is known as en banc, instead of leaving it to the 3-judge panel. That'll happen soon, but they did not set a date. So as of right now, candidate filing is getting underway this morning at Board of Elections in Raleigh for the legislative and congressional districts. But it's already been going on for sheriffs are up for election this year in North Carolina. You got county commissioners, school board, judges. Let's see, clerk of court. I think is registered deeds up this year. I always get that confused with registered deeds or not. Anyway, the filing there is underway in the counties and continued yesterday. And there's quite a few that filed yesterday. We'll have some reports on that as we get them from the Board of Elections office at obxtoday.com. Governor Roy Cooper has appointed Hank Bauer to be the new ABC Commission chairman, the statewide ABC Commission chairman. That follows a resignation in September of A.D. Xander Guy, citing anxiety over the ongoing pandemic and the agency's recent challenges with liquor distribution. That was the former mayor of Surf City, resigned after 4 years, and now Hank Bauer, who has 30 years of experience in the liquor industry, was appointed by Governor Cooper. Bauer's former general manager at Empire Distributors, where he served as director of sales and on-premise director. Empire is one of the largest distributors, not only liquor, but also wine and beer for North Carolina, or in North Carolina. Now, of course, this comes as there's been all the problems that the ABC Commission has had with their private contractor that runs the state's liquor warehouse that has come under fire for slow deliveries that have led to empty shelves at stores across North Carolina. Last night, Dare County Board of Commissioners did approve accepting the low bid from Great Lakes Dock and Dredge of $29.5 million for next year's Avon and Buxton beach nourishment projects. County Manager Bobby Outen made note last night during the commissioners meeting that the Army Corps of Engineers, which kind of had a backlog of permits up in Washington being kind of slow roll, some movement was done by the state's congressional delegation to get that moving. They were able to get those permits done, and the staff that works out of the Wilmington Corps of Engineers and the local offices were able to even actually came in Thanksgiving week to Winkian to get the final permits that were needed, because county had to go today to the local government commission with their presentations to get the bond money, to borrow the money that they'd use to pay for the upcoming beach nourishment projects. So that's what took place last night with the county commissioners. They will, again, today, the local government commission presentation has to be done. That's to borrow the money. That's using bonds. And then, of course, the money is paid back on that by the county through a combination of the beach nourishment fund that comes from the occupancy tax. In some cases, of course, being paid for with property tax districts in some of the towns, and in Avon, others, FEMA and state money's also being thrown in. And in some cases, such as the South Nags Head and Buxton projects, FEMA and the state are paying for those projects because with a little bit of contribution from the Beach Nourishment Fund because of storm damage that was done to the previously nourished beaches. So all that in mind, we are moving ahead with beach nourishment. It looks like one more step closer. Still don't know when and where everything will start, but we'll be getting word on that here soon. Looks like it'll be probably February at the latest when we'll know exactly where they plan to start, on which parts of the beaches they plan to start with the beach nourishment. Of course, we'll keep you posted with that at obxtoday.com. Let's see. Today is the last first flight market, first flight holiday market. Today's the last one. Today the last one? I think so. They got one today. Well, at Aviation Park in Kill Double Hills. Now, there are 24 new vendors along with dozens of other returning vendors out there today. Starts at 4 o'clock, runs till 7. Santa Claus is going to be showing up at 5:30. They'll have tree lighting, sleigh ride, and school orchestra will be performing. The First Light High School Orchestra will be performing. They're going to have food trucks out there. Again, all types of vendors will be participating. That's at Aviation Park in Kill Double Hills, right across from First Flight High School. Now, because this is the last one of the season and because they are expecting a large turnout for this, you are encouraged to park. There were some, I need to find that post because we had it on obxtoday.com's Facebook page and from the town of Kill Double Hills, but it seems to have since disappeared. So let me jump back over to our Facebook page real quick because they did have some notes about folks looking to, or notes for folks that are headed out to the First Flight Market today, that there are some parking things you need to keep in mind with parking. But because they're expecting a large crowd, you're asked to park either at the Aviation Park lot, the Town Hall lot, the Baum Center lot, or the First Light High School lots, the student parking area. You can also drop folks off in the Aviation parking lot and then park in one of the designated lots as well. Parking along Veterans Drive is prohibited, so you are asked to use the parking lots adjacent to Aviation Park for the First Flight Holiday Market today from 4 until 7 in Kill Devil Hills. Nags Head has its final holiday market. That'll be coming up on Friday. And finally, Cheryl Balance, the former CEO of the Ocracoke Health Center and Englehart Health Center, has been named to the Order of the Longleaf Pine. She retired back in June as Health Center CEO, but she was presented back on November 20th with the Order of the Longleaf Pine, and our friends over at OcracokeObserver.com have more on that. Quick look at sports on this Tuesday morning. We got high school basketball tonight. First Flight's home to take on Catholic out of Virginia Beach. Manio hosting Gates. Perquimans of Pasquotank. Edenton is at Bertie. The Good Guys versus Cancer basketball classic. That's coming up this Friday and Saturday at First Flight High School. Great lineup of some of the best high school players in the state and in the country are going to be playing that. And we're going to get a chance to talk to Coach Chad Williams, the athletic director at First Flight and organizer of the Good Guys versus Cancer. We'll talk with him later this week all about that here on OBX Today. College basketball tonight. East Carolina home to take on North Carolina A&T. Old Dominion travels to William & Mary, and Virginia is at James Madison. NFL last night, New England beat Buffalo on Monday Night Football. The OBX Today Weather Center forecast. It's turned chilly for sure out there. That front, the latest front coming through. Was there even any rain in it? Sure didn't look like it, from what I can tell. I didn't get it here. We were supposed to get a little bit of rain last night, but it didn't happen. So much colder today after yesterday's highs got up into the 70s in some spots. We're going to be barely making it 50 after that front crosses the area, or across the area this morning. So today's forecast is calling for cloudy skies, breezy, high of 49, north winds 10 to 20, gusts to 30. Another storm system coming through overnight tonight, which may actually bring us some much needed rain, but it's not going to do anything to bust the drought. Rain likely after midnight, cloudy skies, low 44, northeast winds 10 to 20, or 10 to 15 rather. Wednesday, rain with a high 52, north winds of 15. Rain ending Wednesday night, and then partly cloudy skies, low 39. Sunny on Thursday, high 54. Partly sunny Friday and 65. Saturday, partly sunny, 69. Chance of showers Sunday and 67. Sunny on Monday and 61. Coastal Marine forecast, small craft advisory today. Pretty obvious, as you can see on our shot there from our folks at surfchecks.com. That's Avon right now we're showing you. It's kind of rough. Head back up to Corolla. Not so bad up there, but it still looks pretty ugly. Same thing at Jeanette's, just south of Jeanette's Pier, and then in Rodanthe also. It's kind of a choppy day. And here's the view from Hatteras, a little bit more slickish. But that's typical because we got this north wind. We got north winds of 20 to 25 knots, gusts to 30 knots at times, small craft advisory, 2 to 3 foot waves in the sounds. Seas 4 to 6 feet. Next tide change in Oregon Inlet's a high tide at 9:55. Water temperatures 55 to 61. And currently our air temperature 48 degrees outside the studios in Uptown Nags Head. And that is just about it for today's edition of OBX Today Live. Here on Facebook and YouTube, I'm Sam Walker. Glad you could join us on this Tuesday morning. We'll be back with you tomorrow. So have a great Tuesday, everyone. See ya.
A simple binary code transmitted by carrier wave signal. A simple binary...
For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.